pet sitter. Number 6. Pete, the very... Hank the pet sitter. Number 6. Pete, the very chatty parrot. By Claudia Harrington. Illustrated by Anusha Syed. Published by Magic Wagon, a division of Abdo. Chapter 1. A New Customer. It was summer. Hank's bike was still bent. He needed more money to buy a new one. His pet-sitting business was quiet. "Janie loves you. Janie loves you," said a voice in Hank's ear. Was Hank asleep? Maybe he was having a nightmare. "Sorry," said Janie. "He doesn't usually get out of his cage." Hank sat up. What? Janie stood in his living room. Her bird dug into Hank's shoulder. If it weren't Janie's, this green bird would be kind of cool. "Tisk," said Janie. "Don't scare him." "Me? Don't scare him?" said Hank. "Can you watch Pete for the weekend?" asked Janie. "We're going to visit my cousins. They're not good with animals. Last time my aunt let them get a cat, it looked more like a rat within a week." "Like a rat," said Pete. "Like a rat." "Sure," said Hank. Pete perched on Hank's shoulder. "You should put fires up," said Janie. "Janie should keep her nose out of other people's business," said Hank. "Janie knows business," said Pete. "Oh no," Hank and Janie said together. "Pete likes treats," said Janie, "and scratches around his beak and on his neck." She demonstrated. "Don't you, Pete?" Pete stretched his neck. "Janie knows business. Janie knows business." "Here's his mirror," said Janie. She slid it from her purse and looked at herself. She winked at her reflection, and Hank rolled his eyes. Janie didn't notice. Pete loves to look at himself. "Humph," said Hank. "If he were a respectable parrot, he'd tell you to walk the plank." Hank scratched Pete's neck. "Walk the plank, walk the plank," said Pete. Hank grinned. "Maybe you shouldn't talk this weekend," said Janie. "Maybe you should go back home," said Hank. "Go back home," said Pete. "Tisk," said Janie, leaving. "Tisk, tisk," said Pete. This was going to be a weird weekend. Chapter 2. Pirate Bird. When Janie was gone, Hank put Pete back on his shoulder and pretended he was a pirate. "I'm Captain Hank,"